Many think of New York City when it comes to cheesecakes, but in reality, it comes from Greece. In ancient Greece, cheesecakes were given to athletes in the first Olympics Games of 1700 BC to regain strength and celebrate their win. Later, the Roman empowerment spread the dessert across Europe, and many decades later, European immigrants brought it to America. But do you know how these delicious cheesecakes are actually made? Keep watching the video to find out. Hey guys, welcome to our channel How It's Made. Today, this video takes an inside look into how cheesecakes are made. But before jumping into the video, please consider subscribing to our channel if you're new here. Also hit the bell icon to get a notification whenever we upload a new video. That said, let's begin! Around the world, there are many variations of cheesecakes, from the jiggly cloud-like cheesecakes in Japan to the almost burnt bath-style cheesecake from Spain, and from my neck of the woods, probably the most famous is the OG New York-style cheesecake. So how did this dessert come to be, and what makes it so delicious? Cheesecake dates all the way back to 776 BC in ancient Greece, where they were the conventional cake for Greek weddings and Olympic athletes who enjoyed them during their athletic tournaments. These cheesecakes would probably not be recognizable to us today. The first recorded recipe for cheesecake dates from 230 AD. For this, fresh cheese, similar to ricotta, was battered with wheat flour and honey pressed into a pan and heated in a large oven that was used to bake items like bread and cooled before eating. The Romans took this Greek recipe and modified it, creating something much more closely resembling the New York style of cheesecake. Today, eggs are added to the recipe and it's usually served warm. It was a special occasion dish, and each territory added its own twist to the recipe. The crust was one of these modifications. The first one was documented by a senator and historical writer, Cato the Elder. The cheesecake was sprinkled across Europe and the Roman dominations, showing up in British cookery around the 1400s. It was here that by adding sugar, it became much more like the dessert we know today. Sugar was a new luxurious and highly pursued ingredient from the New World, and Europeans became obsessed with this white gold. The New York-style cheesecake dates from the 1800s. This was most likely brought over by European immigrants to the city in 1872 by a dairy farmer from Chester, New York. William Lawrence was trying to recreate a French style of cheese called Neufchâtel. Lawrence settled to add cream to his recipe, resulting in the production of cream cheese. However, Philadelphia was not associated with the cheese until late 1880, when the now wildly successful brand Philadelphia cream cheese became popular. The New York-style cake is identical to its European ancestors, but is far richer and denser with the addition of cream cheese and extra egg yolks. By the early 1900s, the New York cheesecake was one of the most famous dishes served throughout the city in trendy restaurants and delis. Over the years, the New York cheesecake has been adapted by other cities across the US. In Chicago, sour cream was added to the cake to make it lighter and creamier, and Philadelphia embraced elaborate fruit and chocolate toppings. Today, variations of cheesecake can be found all over the world with countless flavors, styles, and toppings, all uniquely delicious. But how cheesecakes are made? For a batch of about 5 dozen cheesecakes, a bakery combines 23 kilograms of butter with 4.5 kilos of sugar, with 16 egg whites and 11 kilograms of flour. After mixing just long enough to blend the flour smoothly, the dough is transferred via a conveyor belt to a vat. Thanks to Newton, gravity pushes the blob of dough out through a slot at the bottom, booting a dough sheet about half a centimeter thick. Next, some dusting of flour is sprayed. It is done because it prevents the dough from sticking not just to the conveyor belt, but also to the rolling and cutting tools. A prickly roller pierces the dough sheet, creating tiny holes that enable trapped air to escape during baking, which prevents the dough from shrinking and ensures a flat, bubble-free crust. Next up, these sheets is communicated to the next roller that has plastic circles that work like cookie cutters, slicing the dough into cake-sized discs. After slicing up, some doughs are left. These leftover pieces go into new batches of dough. Each dough circle goes into a pan and then bakes at 190 degrees Celsius for 16 minutes. Meanwhile, the batter takes shape. For a batch of about 20 cakes, the bakery combines 11 kilograms of cream cheese with a kilo of cultured sour cream that is processed a little longer than usual to give it more flavor. After slowly mixing in 7 kilograms of sugar and about 2.5 cups of flour, the bakery blends in 3/4 of a cup of vanilla extract with 1.5 dozen whole eggs. That's the recipe for plain cheesecake. Flavored versions contain extra ingredients. The batter is caramel pecan and it goes with a chocolate cookie crust. As the baked crusts arrive, sprayers grease the inside of each pan with butter so that the cake will slide out easily after baking. Then a machine called a depositor shoots in just the right amount of batter. The pans now enter a tunnel-shaped oven that's 21 meters long. The temperature inside is 177 degrees Celsius. By the time the cake exits at the other end, they're fully baked. These 25cm wide cakes take just under an hour. From the oven, the cheesecakes go into a cooling conveyor. By the time the hot cakes, up to 2000 at a time, do the nearly hour-long circuit, they're at room temperature and ready to come out of their pans. From there, it's straight into the storage freezer, except for certain cheesecakes which detour to the decoration department. There, this Belgian chocolate cheesecake gets a big squirt of chocolate ganache, a decadent mixture of chocolate and cream. The workers spread it all over and then make swirls with a decorating cone. And with a final touch, a sprinkling of cocoa, certain orders go into an automated cutting machine that divides each cake into 14 equal slices and inserts parchment paper in between them. Back at the decorating department, workers put shards of chocolate on a mud pie, a combination of chocolate souffle, chocolate cheesecake with pecans, and a coffee mousse topping. Here are some cheesecake facts you didn't know about. 30th July is considered a National Cheesecake Day. They love cheesecake so much in the USA that there's even a National Cheesecake Day on 30th July. The best way to celebrate would of course be to make your own cheesecake, eat some cheesecake, and just generally really enjoy thinking about cheesecake. The biggest cheesecake ever built was of 4,000 kilograms. This record-breaking cheesecake was made in Russia in 2017 and was made to celebrate the 400th anniversary of Stavropol City and was almost a meter tall. Hopefully everyone got a piece. The expensive cheesecake cost $6,000. Cheesecake can be pricey and made for special occasions, but this one really takes the cheesecake. Made in Raphael Restaurant in Manhattan, New York, the cheesecake contains some very pricey ingredients, including vintage cognac, Italian truffles, Madagascan vanilla, and a gold leaf topping. Let's hope it tastes good because that's a lot of money for one cake. Cheesecakes are not really cake. This is controversial, but we had to say it at some point. The cheesecake isn't technically a cake. Cakes are typically classified as a more bread-like substance. So what is it? Well, that's up for debate. Some people think it's a torte, others think it's more of a flan or a tart. But most importantly, whatever it's called, it's delicious. That's all for today. Let us know if you found this video informative in the comment section below. Also, if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more informative videos. See you in the next one.